This week's chapter of Fairy Tail was a 50-50 for me. For one instance, I was actually really liking this chapter. You know, it had good comedy, and that's what it was going for, I felt like, for most of it. Then it got to the end, and it just didn't feel right. It's one of those endings that can be either good or completely horrendously wrong, depending on next chapter. But anyway, the minor points are Gear is still fighting Sting and Rogue, and it looks like he's finally finished playing with them, and he wants to finish them off. And I really hope either they do focus on that fight a little bit more, or if they don't, that it ends up Sting and Rogue are just on the floor, and you see Gear coming up and is like, all right, these two are nothing. Who's next to fight me? And I really hope that's one of the cases, because I really like it when the main villain is badass, and that would be a badass moment for Gear, and he just comes up and just throws their bodies on the floor. Is like, they were nothing. Who's next? At least that's what I'm hoping. But anyway, it shows that from last week, Juvia finally defeated the Necromancer Keith, but at a cost, because by going into his body, she got infected with some of these magical barrier particles or some kind of magic that probably Keith's body was made of, because it looked like he was made of some kind of gas kind of form. So she did beat Keith, but at a cost. I'm pretty sure she's not going to die, but maybe there'll be a lasting effect of doing this. Who knows? Maybe she can't liquefy herself anymore. She can still control water, but she can't turn herself into water. Maybe. I don't know. That would be interesting, though. But then it gets to the point where I actually do like this part, where we go to Minerva and Urza and the Xyz, and they're all still walking to the control room, and it's revealed by Fro, and I'm forgetting the other cat's name, that Minerva can actually cook, and that she's actually a great cook. Then Panther Lady has this imagination of her wearing an apron and the oven mitts, and she's like, the food's ready, like all nice, and he's like, she would make a great wife because of that one aspect. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually how she is in the kitchen, if she just completely changes her personality and she just loves cooking that much that whoever asks for food, she'll be all happy and everything. Or maybe she's actually like, here's your damn food, and the food just happens to be really good. But what really interests me is the fact that she can't cook, and the fact that she's good means that she loved it so much that she bothered practicing over and over until it got good. So, and I really like those parts of characters, especially when they used to be villains, that they actually do have hobbies, something that interests them. And that's one of the reasons Lucy has been one of my favorite characters of Fairy Tail, and why Natsu, Gray, and most of the other Fairy Tail Guild members, while okay, I never really got behind into, wow, these characters are so amazing, I want to know more about them. They were more like, oh yeah, they're good fighters, but that's about it. I mean, what happens when the fighting's over? They have a little comedic timing with their other guild mates, but other than that, they got really nothing at home going on that I want to see. So it really does interest me that they're giving a Minerva, one of the batshit crazy villains or former villains, something so interesting as a hobby, as cooking. But either way, that's just a side story, or it's just on the side. But it was still interesting enough for me to actually wonder, like, I really do want to know more about this whole human side of Minerva, because I've not seen nothing but this demonic side. I mean, before she became an actual demon, but demonic side of her. But either way, the main focus of this chapter was Natsu and Gajeel versus their two demons. And the two demons transform into this Aetherius form or something like that. And it looks pretty like, oh my god, like, yes, this is going to a big fight. And then Natsu and Gajeel turn into their dragon mode. And I was like, yes, let's do this. But then Natsu and Gajeel start arguing and competing about, oh, I'll defeat my opponent first. And at first I was a little worried. It's like, why are they doing this? Where is this heading? Then immediately they come in and one hit shot the two demons and they're down. I mean, they're not knocked out, but they just went down like, holy shit, like what was that? And then Gajeel and Natsu are still arguing with each other. And then finally it ends with both of them punching each other. And it's like, what? It's like, why? Why would they do this? It just doesn't make any sense. It was just about to get into this big epic action scene, and then it just turns for comedy. And I really hope that the demons just were surprised and they'll get serious next chapter and actually prove to be a match for even Natsu and Gajeel in dragon mode. But I don't want the Natsu and Gajeel just start fighting each other for no apparent reason, and then the two demons are just getting in the way. Like they punch the demons out of the way, saying, "Hey, you're getting in the way of the real fight." Just no. But it all depends on how next chapter goes. If the demons get serious and actually become a threat, actually like, okay, we're not gonna be surprised anymore. Let's get serious. They start punching Natsu and Gajeel around too. Okay, great. But if not, I'm going to be terribly disappointed in any of this. I guess they're trying to say, like, oh, the other demons are nothing. It's Gajeel who's the real threat. But at this point, if you surround yourself with weaklings, what does that say about yourself? Gajeel does not seem like a weakling. I just don't understand why he would surround himself with weaklings. He should have surrounded himself with incredibly powerful people. But either way, again, this is something that the next chapter is going to decide for me. Whether this is okay ending or just what the hell were they thinking. But either way, we'll just have to wait and see until next week. But either way, this was a decent chapter. I love the first half of the side stories were the more interesting thing. I loved seeing those. The main focus of the chapter, I just wondered, just sat there in confusions, like, why is this happening? So it's more of a 50-50 for me in this chapter. But again, it'll all be decided next week. So until then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye-bye.